Rockets star Amen Thompson reveals reason for hating Warriors. When the Houston Rockets drafted Amen Thompson with the number 4 pick in the 2023 NBA draft, they knew they were adding a freakishly athletic, versatile guard who could defend, rebound, and bring relentless energy to both ends of the floor. What they might not have known is that Thompson, who grew up in the Bay Area, carried with him a complicated relationship with the team that defined basketball in his hometown, the Golden State Warriors. Now, 2 years into his career, Thompson has quickly emerged as one of the NBA's brightest rising stars. At just 22 years old, he earned an all-defensive first-team selection in his sophomore season, putting up averages of 14.1 points, 8.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.3 blocks per game on 55.7% shooting. His numbers already suggest the Rockets have a future franchise cornerstone. But as the 2025 playoffs revealed, there's an extra layer of fire that comes out of Thompson when he's matched up against Golden State. The homecoming against the Warriors this past spring, Houston and Golden State clashed in a dramatic first-round series that went the full 7 games. It wasn't just a matchup of young upstarts against a seasoned dynasty, it was a test of whether Thompson could step onto the postseason stage and stand tall against the very team that once ruled the NBA. And stand tall he did. Over the 7-game stretch, Thompson averaged 15.7 points, 6.9 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 1.7 steals, often taking on the daunting assignment of guarding Stephen Curry. For a second-year guard, that's about as big a responsibility as it gets, and Thompson embraced it. The series itself was classic playoff basketball, physical, emotional, and filled with momentum swings. At times, tempers flared, and both teams pushed the boundaries of toughness and competitiveness. For Houston, it was a statement that they were no longer just rebuilding. For Thompson, it was personal. Why Amen Thompson hates the Warriors on The Young Man and the 3 podcast with JJ Redick. Thompson finally revealed the root of his complicated feelings toward Golden State. "I was a LeBron James fan, I'm not gonna lie," Thompson said. "I didn't dislike the Warriors, I actually liked the Warriors, until they had to start playing LeBron. And then I'm like, okay, now I hate the Warriors." It's a simple explanation, but one that captures a huge generational divide in NBA fandom. During the mid-2010s, when Golden State rattled off 3 championships in 4 years and seemed to reinvent basketball with their shooting-heavy style, the league became polarized. On one side were the Warriors diehards, thrilled to see a new dynasty rise out of the Bay Area. On the other side were the LeBron loyalists, who saw their favorite player constantly butting heads with Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. For Amen Thompson, being a devoted LeBron fan meant there was no way he could root for the Warriors, even though they were the team in his own backyard. Growing up in the Bay Area, Thompson's story is especially fascinating because of his hometown ties. Born in Oakland and raised near San Leandro, he grew up just a short drive from Oracle Arena, the Warriors' loud and legendary home before the franchise moved across the bay to San Francisco's Chase Center. Kids in his neighborhood wore Curry jerseys, and the Warriors' style of play was the talk of every pickup game. But Thompson went against the grain. He admired LeBron James, not just for his dominance on the court, but for his leadership, his ability to carry teams, and the way he elevated teammates. So, when LeBron faced off against the Warriors in 4 straight NBA Finals from 2015-2018, Thompson knew where his loyalties stood. Rooting for LeBron meant rooting against the Warriors. That mindset stuck, even as Thompson grew into his own basketball stardom. Writing his own rivalry. Fast forward to 2025, and Thompson has the chance to live out what he once only experienced as a fan, battling the Warriors on the biggest stage. But this time, he's not watching LeBron go head-to-head with Curry, he's the one guarding Curry, crashing the boards against Draymond Green, and delivering big plays for the Rockets. Golden State may not be the untouchable juggernaut it was at its peak, but the franchise still carries weight. Curry remains one of the league's most feared offensive players. Green continues to stir the pot and set the emotional tone. Klay Thompson, though older, still has the ability to swing games with his shooting. For Amen Thompson, the opportunity to knock the Warriors out of the playoffs wasn't just about advancing to the next round. It was about proving himself against the team that had once been the villain in his own basketball journey. The bigger picture for Houston. The Rockets haven't had a star of Thompson's mold in years. They've had scorers and showmen, but Thompson's unique blend of defensive intensity, athleticism, and unselfish playmaking has made him indispensable. Alongside Alperen Sengun's interior dominance and Jalen Green's offensive firepower, Houston finally looks like a team with staying power in the Western Conference. Veteran Fred VanVleet, who stuck around to provide leadership, has also helped guide Thompson through the early stages of his career. In Game 5 against Golden State, VanVleet and Thompson shared a fiery moment, high-fiving after forcing a turnover against Curry. It was a symbolic passing of the torch, the veteran acknowledging that the young guard had arrived. From hometown kid to hometown rival for Warriors fans, Amen Thompson is a reminder that not every Bay Area native grew up idolizing the dynasty. Some, like him, found inspiration elsewhere and now carry that chip into battles against Golden State. For Rockets fans, it's even better. They have a young cornerstone who doesn't just play the game, he plays with a fire rooted in personal history. Thompson doesn't want to just compete with the Warriors. He wants to beat them. That hunger makes him dangerous. It also makes him the perfect face of Houston's new era. Final thoughts. Amen Thompson's rise is one of the most exciting storylines in the NBA right now. His talent is undeniable, his defensive instincts are elite, and his competitive drive is fueled by a personal vendetta against the very dynasty that once dominated his childhood. As Houston continues its climb back to contention, one thing is clear: Amen Thompson isn't afraid of the Warriors. In fact, his dislike for them might be exactly what fuels him to help the Rockets reach the top. The Bay Area once had a chance to claim him as one of their own. Instead, Thompson chose a different path, one that now pits him directly against his hometown team. And in today's NBA, where rivalries often feel manufactured, that makes this one feel refreshingly real.